Good people of YouTube, my name is Spanner, welcome back to my Warframe guides. Today we will cover some of the things you can do on your ship. Let's start with the arsenal. Over here is where you can select your loadout. You can switch between Warframes, primary weapons, secondary weapons, melee weapons, and companions, which will be discussed on a later video. One thing to note here is that you can unequip weapons. You can go on a mission without a primary weapon, for example. You must, however, bring at least one weapon. The game won't let you unequip all of them. Down here we have the gear section. Gear are special items that you can bring along in your missions. For example, we have health, energy, and ammo restores. These are items that you can place on the ground and will restore health, energy, or ammo to any nearby allies. This is just an example, as there are many different types of gear that you can bring with you. On the arsenal is also where you can customize your equipment's looks and upgrades. Here we have the market. This is where you can buy warframes and weapons, among some other things. One thing you should know is the difference between buying an item and buying the blueprint for an item. For example, you can buy a warframe with platinum, which is the game's premium currency that you can buy with real money. You can also get a Warframe's blueprint. The blueprint is bought with credits, which is basically money that you get from completing missions and killing enemies. These blueprints can be used to craft the Warframe in your Foundry. I'm using Warframes as an example, but most of the items follow the same model. You can either get the item yourself or the blueprint to craft later. One important thing here is that warframes and weapons require slots. These slots limit the amount of weapons and warframes you can have and can only be acquired with platinum. If you don't want to buy slots, you can make some room by selling some items from the inventory menu. Warframes and weapons that you buy with platinum come with their own slots. Over here we have the Foundry. This is where you can craft warframes, weapons, and other items you will need throughout the game. To craft an item, you need to have a blueprint for that item. You will also need a certain amount of resources. Resources can be acquired as mission rewards, and most commonly by killing enemies and opening containers. When you have your blueprint and the required resources, you can start the craft by paying a certain amount of credits. The crafting will then take some time to complete. This time can be something like a couple of minutes to several days. You can also rush the crafting process by paying some platinum. Over here you can see your current mod collection. Mods will be discussed in greater detail later down the line. On this screen we have our syndicate menu. This is where we can review our current standing with the game syndicates. Again, this is something we will discuss in more detail later. We also have the game news over here, and this is the Conclave mode, which is basically Warframe's PvP modes. Down here we have the chat menu. Chat is divided into several tabs. We have region chat, just to chat with other people. We have the recruiting chat to help people find squads and clans. The trading chat is where you can find other players to trade with. If you belong to a clan, you have access to your clan chat, and if that clan is part of an alliance, you also have the alliance chat. And this final one is your squad chat, so you can talk to your teammates when you're doing a mission. This is the navigation menu. This is where you access the various planets to select a mission that you want to do. Up here, you can set your matchmaking to public, so anyone can join your game, to friends only, so only friends can join your game, invite only, so only people you specifically invite can join, and solo, to play on your own. For the first few missions, I would actually recommend that you play solo. That way you can do things at your own pace, so you can understand the game better. On public, you can be matched with literally anyone, so you might join players who are way better geared and just blaze through a mission, and it can be hard to understand what's going on. Up here you can see the currently available special missions, like alerts, invasions, and void fissures. Alerts are a special type of mission that will grant you a special reward on its completion. Alerts are only available for a limited time. The mission itself will expire when the timer reaches 0. Another thing you can see on the navigation screen are the resources available on a specific planet. Each planet has their own set of resources, so if you need a specific one, just find a planet that has it and let the farming begin. There is one resource called Nethane, which is not available on planets, only from alert missions. Finally, over here we have the Codex. This is where you can access the information available in-game about weapons, enemies, missions, basically anything you can think of. However, some of it is a bit lacking, and that's precisely the reason why I am doing this guide. Over here you can see your quests, which are basically a special set of missions you can do. They are used to progress through the game. On the faction category, we can see our currently scanned enemies. Let's take this Drakkar Hellion for example. There's hardly any information about him here. If we compare him with this Ballista for example, there's a lot more information to be found. You can see where the enemy can be encountered, weaknesses and resistances, and the items it can drop when killed. You can see this information by performing scans with a Codex Scanner. This is a type of gear you can acquire in the market for 500 credits. This grants you 25 charges to use. To use a Codex Scanner, you need to equip it on the gear section of the arsenal. Then you need to go to a mission and bring up your gear wheel and select the scanner. The scanner can be aimed just like a regular weapon, and you need to press and hold the shoot weapon button to perform a scan of an enemy or an object. Each enemy has a number of scans that must be performed to get all possible information on them. As a final note, all of these menus can be accessed by using your in-game menu. You don't have to walk to each ship section every time. Alright, that's it for this video. Some of the things we briefly discussed here will be covered in more detail later. Next time we will cover how leveling up works. Until then, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time.